Hello everybody, my name is Sally-Ann Spence and welcome to the Hills Quarry Products dig site in Serney-Wick, where we are digging up material from both the Jurassic and also from the Ice Age. Now we have a variety of people participating in this dig, and one of them is with me now. This is Dr. Luke Muscutt. Hello Luke.
Hello Sally.
Now Luke, you've brought something to show us. We'll go straight into it because I think it's pretty amazing what we've got here. Now we've got Sally Poynton, she is busy working the camera for us. Sally, would you bring the camera in so Luke can tell us a little bit more about what we're looking at? What are we looking at, Luke?
So this is quite an amazing specimen, to be honest. We have got a complete femur from a plesiosaur. So this is an animal that I've studied in my PhD, and we have, you see it's in 3 sections, but we managed to find all the sections, and our expert conservators here have pieced it together. And this is basically the left femur of a plesiosaur. So it's a paddle bone of a plesiosaur. Plesiosaurs are animals that had 4 large wing-like flippers. So they're quite unique in the animal kingdom in that they swim by actively flapping their flippers up and down in like an underwater flight motion.
Okay.
Other animals that swim with flippers, like turtles, only really use their front ones to propel themselves through the water, and then their back ones are used for steering. So it's actually quite difficult to tell the sort of, say, the humerus and the femur, which would be like the upper arm bone or the upper leg bone. In plesiosaurs, it's quite difficult to tell those apart. In many animals, it's quite easy. Like in humans, it's quite easy because the femur's a lot bigger than the humerus. But in plesiosaurs, they're almost identical.
Right, okay. And can you tell what species it is at all? Or would we have any idea from one bone like that?
Based on conversations with Richard Forrest and Judith Sassoon, who are experts in plesiosaur anatomy, we think it's a cryptoclydid, which is a plesiosaur that would have been has a fairly long neck, and it has small conical teeth, so it would have hunted fish and squid. It would have a fairly small head compared to its body as well. So it's kind of going around, swimming fairly efficiently, but also able to swim quite quick when it needs to be able to chase fish and things like that. This is in contrast to something like a pliosaur, which is got a huge head, would have actively eaten like other tetrapods, so would have chased other large-bodied prey. So this is almost like a sea lion or something, going around eating fish and stuff.
Yes.
But a sea lion that's got 4 great big flippers, so potentially would have been faster.
Well, it's an amazing way to move, because we've got nothing else today that moves like it, have we?
Well, there's a few things that swim using underwater flight, like penguins, sea lions and turtles, but like I said, they only use 1 set of flippers.
Yeah.
There's nothing that uses 4.
So that locomotion went extinct with these guys.
Exactly. And that was what my PhD was about, that I studied at Southampton, was trying to work out why they have these 4 flippers and trying to answer that question, because it is such a strange way to move. So what were the hydrodynamic advantages of having 4 flippers?
And what conclusions did you draw then?
Well, basically, because of the wake of the front one interacting with the back flipper, the back flipper benefits in increases in thrust and efficiency of up to 40%.
Oh right, yes.
So it's like getting some extra thrust for free, really. It's similar to why geese fly in formation. I guess the only living analogue really is something like a dragonfly, because dragonflies actually have 4 independently controlled wings.
Yes.
But obviously they're in air, they're a lot smaller, so it's kind of different, but the fundamental fluid mechanics is kind of similar. From a sort of, if you look at even just an individual flipper, you can sort of see how well evolved it is for aquatic locomotion.
So we'll get Sally back in. Sally, can you show
So just for
people?
context, like say this was the front, this is a femur, but let's just pretend it was a humerus for now. If it was in my arm, like that, you see it's almost the same length as my humerus actually, but look how wide it is at the base. And that wideness, and you see the cross section is like an airfoil, so it's sort of long and thin, has a sort of wing-like cross section, and that cross section would have been maintained the whole way down the flipper, so the flipper would have been tapered very long, tapering, very like streamlined. And it would have been flapping sort of up and down like this, would have been probably rotating a bit as well. So it's flapping up and down, similar to how a penguin or something flaps its wings. An interesting feature of this end, the sort of the ball joint. So in humans, the ball joint is quite spherical. In Plesiosaurs, you see it's almost got these two surfaces. So these are almost the upper and the lower limits of where the flipper would have moved.
Yes.
So that's maybe the upper limit and that's the lower limit, which enables it to sort of flap quite fast, but it's got a sort of a lock or like a limit of where its flipper can go.
Yes.
So it's actually the bones themselves, not just the muscles and the tendons, that are helping to control the flipper motion.
That's fantastic.
And with that, you can sort of predict the limits of motion of how the flippers would be. Obviously, there would have been extra cartilage and stuff here as well. But
do you know what? Just doing that motion brought that animal to life then.
Great.
That really did, for me, just seeing that, because very often, you know, this is from the Jurassic area of the dig. As I said, we have material from both the Ice Age and the Jurassic. And when you see a bone like that, you're trying to imagine the animal around it, the flesh and the muscles and, you know, well, the skin and everything. But just to see you doing that movement then really did bring that animal to life.
And you can imagine all four as well. It would have almost like galloped through the water.
They're very elegant then.
Yeah, they would have been amazing swimmers. They would have had extremely good control. They're not just using their flippers to push themselves through the water, but they can also steer with them. So they would have been extremely manoeuvrable. Potentially they would have used their neck and their tail as well to help them steer.
So that begs the question then, if this was such an efficient way of moving, you know where this is going,
yeah,
don't you?
Yes.
Why do we have nothing today that moves exactly the same?
It's a very difficult question to answer. Often in evolution, you can sort of give a reason as to something, you can kind of give a reason as to why something is like it is, at least from an engineering point of view. You can say it's got a strong jaw, so it has a high bite force, or it has, you know, robust flippers, so it can use them to push itself through the water. But it's very hard to answer, like, why are other things not like that? Because in evolution, there's so many factors, right?
Yes.
There's not only the like engineering principles, the hydrodynamics, the forces, but there's also then the sort of evolutionary trajectory, like the phylogeny, there's the genetics, there's the environment, there's the geology, there's the geochemistry, there's like everything that goes into that animal. So to some extent, it's very difficult to answer that question. The best I can say is something, at least we know something about flipper powered swimming. So most things that swim oscillate their tail. Fish, eels, sharks all oscillate their tail left and right. Cetaceans, things like dolphins and whales, oscillate their tail up and down. We think at least the differences between those two things maybe has an ancestral, like there's an effect of their ancestry. So things that have a sprawling gait. So if an animal is a terrestrial animal that has a sprawling gait, like say a Komodo dragon or a lizard, where it's swinging its body left to right, if those air-breathing animals go back into the water and evolve a lineage that becomes fully aquatic, it's likely that that lineage moves its tail left to right. And those animals that have more of a upright stance, where they're moving their limbs underneath them, like a lot of tetrapods do, like a horse or something, then it's maybe more likely that their tail will oscillate up and down. But this is quite conjectural, it's not proven, but it's an interesting idea.
Oh, further research.
Yeah, and then the four flipper thing is just, that kind of maybe relates to the flipper question as well, but it's an active area of research. So
fantastic.
Hard to say.
Well, Luke, thank you for telling us about that. That is absolutely fascinating. I certainly enjoyed that. I'm sure you will have done as well, because I certainly learned something new, and I still love the fact that motion just brought that whole animal alive. You have been a big part of this dig. You have done a phenomenal amount. You've been on site. This is a 3-week dig. We're at the end of the very last week, and Luke has been here all the way through. You have supported people, you've brought the atmosphere and the jollity to it as well. You know, it's a long time, 3 weeks living in a tented village. You have organised people and organised things whenever anything's gone on. We had a horrendous storm come through, and you were straight away making sure that everything was being tied down, sorted out, and just absolutely fantastic. How's the experience been for you? Because you being here has been amazing for this dig, but how's it been for you?
It's been great. It's been one of the best times of my life, to be honest. It's real good. Really pleased I committed and just came for the whole time. Not only do you have like interesting paleontology to do, the people are obviously great. It's like such a good team. We've all got a common interest, common goals, but everyone's, a lot of people. Everyone's obviously got an interest in paleontology, but they've also got other interests as well. So the sort of conversations, unexpected conversations that
Well, I'm just going to add to that in that case. I'm going to add to it because Luke is also a talented accordion player, and you have also, on this site, you have formed a little band.
Yeah.
Can we know the name of the band?
Well, we're calling ourselves the Dire Wolf Straits. I don't know if it's copyrighted or not.
And you've done that. So you're saying, bringing extra things in.
It's been great. It's been a blast,
It has.
Really fun.
It's going to be a shame when it's over, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've only got a few days left.
But it's the community, isn't it? So I think there'll be other opportunities in the future. It's just down for people to organise it and hopefully to get people like Hills to sponsor it.
Yeah, I think so, because it has been amazing. Do watch all our videos. We are filming live, unedited and very raw from the excavation site here right now. We've been uploading videos all along so that you can follow what we're up to and enjoy the experience, because we are part of a working quarry landscape. So unfortunately we can't have visitors here on site, but we are being able to do this. So do look back. You'll also meet Luke again if you go through our videos, where he finds a ginormous ammonite with Mark Kemp, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's definitely well worth watching, as are all the other videos. So please keep looking at them. Luke, I want to thank you because you've made my experience on this dig amazing. You really have. I'm very grateful to have you around your company and everything. You've been a real supporting force.
Same here, Sally-Ann. So have you.
Oh, bless you. Anyway, before we get all tearful towards the end of the dig, do watch these videos, and the hashtag is TUSForce.